as we go to 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix for the final time this weekend in Division 1 in XRS. Lights out and away we go. And I think TECHUBI did actually get a pretty good start there on the right-hand side. Can he already challenge Oliver going into turn 1? Yes, he does, round the outside. And can he hold that position? Yes, he does, but he's going to be fought back into turn 2 and into turn 3. And it's going to be wheel to wheel between these two drivers, as I think Oliver had a slight snap through turn 2 that has allowed TECHUBI to keep the momentum round the outside going into turn 3, and they're still going to go wheel to wheel up the hill and into turn 7, and TECHUBI just gets in front, and Asteroid will find himself behind a Ferrari. As the background, I think that was Jay Snowy having a slight snap there, and also going off the track and is being overtaken by Sausage Joe, and he falls as he falls down into P11, but is switching up there between ICU and Tim. Tim going around the outside of the Williams. Can he hold that on the exit? As I'm sure he is going to try and burn the battery to try and stay in front as I try and get these things up. And he tries to go around the outside of the Williams, has the inside for turn 4 to for turn 11, and through turn 12 he manages to get in front. Interestingly, a few drivers starting on soft tyres, as I think that was all Brandon Cincium having a bit of contact there. Cincium falls down, Jordan in P18 as well. Jay Snowy is a little bit lagging by the looks of it, but having said that, he goes down the inside of Sausage Joe and gets into P10, as Josh Rose and ICU, the two Williams drivers there, swapping places, as Wizzy Boy as well gets through on Sausage Joe as well. Always Tharlo has a slight snap on the rig as they exit out of turn 12. Let's look at the front, as I think Oliver might be able to make a move on TECHUBI down the straight. Gets the fastest lap in doing so and is easily passed, and in the background there I believe that is Sleek trying to make a move on ICU, and does indeed into turn 1. Good move for the RB. But let's look at the front, as I think TECHUBI and Oliver Knott are just going to keep swapping places every lap as TECHUBI goes back into P1. As Matty Mango does pull to the inside of Neb and gets in front going into turn 1, as I think that was ICU and Christy there going side by side, still wheel to wheel going through turn 2, and ICU manages to stay ahead on those medium tyres, as I think Oliver is just going to be able to get in front of TECHUBI on this time around, and I think it is just going to be a case that those two are going to be just swapping every lap. And I thought Josh Rose was going to go to the inside, but Tim covers it off quite nicely. Bran and Neb though having a bit of a swap into turn 1 there. Neb trying the switch back, but then backs out. A bit more downforce than both Ferraris are, but let's see what is going to happen on this lap as TECHUBI does go into the lead. As, I think these two Ferraris there were a bit undecided about what they were doing, as Oliver will stay in P2 for now. And I think this is the reason why, because if you are close enough on the straight, you can potentially go for an overtake. As Oliver does go to the inside, and Asteroid tries to go down the inside of TECHUBI. Can Ferrari make it a 1-2? But TECHUBI, with the better exit on the outside of turn 1, manages to stay in front of Asteroid at the moment, as Asteroid has a slight rear snap there, which I thought Tim was going to maybe try and capitalise off, but doesn't. As we'll look back up at the front once again for this battle for P1 as we go on to the straights. And I think this is going to be a pretty easy overtake for TECHUBI. Down the inside he goes, and firmly ahead. Are the two Ferraris going to swap? Maybe. Always Tim goes down the inside of Asteroid and could disrupt the Ferrari double podium at the moment. And Tim holds it down the inside going into turn 2 and gets ahead. It's now Ferrari 2-4 of this Dutch Grand Prix. I think Josh is actually having a battle on Asteroid and gets it, but as one Ferrari falls down, the other Ferrari moves up into P1, and Tim also going down the inside of TECHUBI gets that move. Still in hot lap, not deciding to burn the overtake, although does so for a few seconds as Tim gets in front and TECHUBI follows him through. TECHUBI down the inside. And Oliver tries it around the outside, and I think he just about stays in front of the Williams, who was challenging behind, but isn't able to stay in front of the McLaren as the McLaren is into P2. But Oliver tries to go down the inside, and he is going to battle with the McLaren as they go up the hill into turn 7. And I think it's just going to be TECHUBI who stays in front. TECHUBI trying to maybe try and make a move on Tim as well, going into turn 8, but decides to back out of that one. As Oliver has hit the curb, and that allows Josh to go through into the podium places. And what was looking to be a fairly good result for Ferrari is now in P4 and P5 as Jordan gets another 10 second for speeding, retires in the pit lane. And it's going wrong for Ferrari today. Jay Snowy maintaining to stay in P11 as TECHUBI gets into the lead of the race, and Josh goes for P2 as well. Will he try and fight the McLaren as well going into turn 1? No, he doesn't. And he will set up for P2, but Tim down in P3. Both Ferrari still outside of the podium. Always, Asteroid has a bit of rear brake locking there. Rev Rob had to take avoiding action. Now, is there going to be any changes for the lead? Yes, Josh goes down the inside to take the lead, and I think Tim as well is going to try his look down the inside of the McLaren. Can he get the move fully cleared on the exit of turn 1? And the McLaren is still there, but just gets in front and gets into P2. And I'm sure this is going to be an easy overtake for Tim. Might even be an easy overtake for TECHUBI as Josh goes into the pits. Sleek gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. TECHUBI and Tim going side by side into turn 1. TECHUBI gets in front before we see those hard tyre runners coming in, and they might try the soft tyre runner at the end. Chrissy, though, doesn't come into the pits, but Rev Rob trying his luck on Asteroid around the inside into turn 1. And into turn 2, it's still going to be wheel to wheel. Asteroid has the inside. Oh, as they made a bit of contact, and Rev Rob is forced out wide there, loses 2 positions. And Jay Snowy, who was down in P11 at one point, finds himself back up in P6 at the moment. Currently battling with Rev Rob, and he can't make that move stick. Rev Rob trying it down the inside of Chrisu, but isn't able to make that move stick. As I think Tim is going to pull to the inside of the Ferrari and gets through into P2. But TECHUBI has the battery that he can burn. But I think Tim is just going to easily get past, as we have been seeing moves on the straight like that all weekend so far. Tim finally gets up into the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix, but TECHUBI still behind, still a long way to go. As Jay Snowy and Rev Rob there having a slight battle of their own going through turn 1. As the 2 Ferraris there, I think, swapped positions. Maybe Asteroid feels that he has pace to try and catch the pack in front and try and hold them up to benefit Oliver. Smart decision there for the Ferraris, if Asteroid definitely feels that he has pace, as we see TECHUBI go up the inside of Tim to get into the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Jay Snowy heads into the pits on the hard tyres and goes onto the soft tyres. That's a little bit early. He's going to have to try and treat those for 16 laps. But I'm sure he is well worth up to trying that strategy. Oh, it's Oliver. Oh, Oliver's gone all the way down, and I think he did. Oh, wait, he's got a front left puncture. What happened to Oliver to get that front left puncture? What happened to Oliver? I see he's struggling to keep it on the track. Decides to go to the beach. What happened to him in order to get a puncture? Did he run over some like debris or something? But he's going to have to pit and potentially go onto softs as he's Sleek. No, it wasn't Sleek, that was Josh tapping the back of Oliver a little bit. What happened to Oliver though? That is definitely not the race that he wants. As TECHUBI dives into the pits, Tim and Asteroid stay out. Let's see what tyres TECHUBI goes on to, and it is going to be the soft tyres himself. Cinsium also coming in, so McLaren trying to time that double stack perfectly. Will Cinsium not get held up? Or he was slightly held up there. Although the pit stop phase wasn't actually that bad, so not really much time lost there for Cinsium, I don't think. Had those mediums on for the start of the race, as Rev Rob, I think, has had a slight issue there, as he's being under pressured by Wizzy Boy through turn 10, but stays in front. And I think that was Chrisu as well, who was having a bit of a battle with Jay Snowy. Jay Snowy, I believe, up into net P3. As Sausage, ICU, and Asteroid head into the pits. Asteroid onto the soft tyres. ICU, I assume, onto the softs as well. Where will they come out compared to the other drivers, as Josh is going through turn 1 there, as he is massively ahead. So the undercut working out for him, as TECHUBI is trying to fight his way through the battle a little bit, as Rev Rob and Sleek going side by side there through turn 2 and into turn 3. Rev Rob has the outside line, Gets the better exit on the exit of turn 3, surely, and gets in front. What it was displaying before was wrong. Always Matthew Mango trying to go down the inside of 1 and 2 cars into turn 10. Can get one though, but can't get the other. Wizzy Boy stays in front when they do pit though. Chrisu up the inside of Jay Snowy. Jay Snowy's been tapped around there. TECHUBI takes advantage of that as well. Goes down the inside. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a Jay Snowy ticket in the reporting area after this race. Matthew Manga down in P11 as we do see Tim now entering into the pits. Will Sausage go in? No, he doesn't. He stays out. So let's see what Tim will, or let's see where Tim will come out compared to the other drivers. Looking at the mini-map, I think he might come out, honestly, behind this this train, to be completely honest. As they go through turn 1 right now, ICU with the fastest lap of the race. As he does indeed come out behind all of these drivers. Will be side by side, though, with the Red Bull down the inside. Can he make the move almost immediately out of the pits? Round the outside he goes into turn 3. It's going to be a drag race, but he eventually gets in front. Tim already making up his places himself. Already up into P10. Obviously soft tyres for Sausage Joe. I'm not really too sure that is much of a... I think we all kind of decided that. And as you can see, he's way behind Matthew Manga. I think that was ICU trying to make a move on Sleek down the inside, going into turn 9, around the outside of, or turn 11, sorry, around the outside of turn 12. Can he get that move? Yes, he does. And I think Tim is already going to try and make a move down the inside, going into turn 14 with the DRS on the RB. Very bumpy around there. You could see the car shaking as they're going through the corner. But it's still going to be side by side between the Haas and the RB. The Haas finally gets in front, latest on the brakes. As down the inside goes ICU on Rev Rob, and as Asteroid does get the move, and ICU is going to try and make the move on Tim. Oh, taps ICU around a little bit, and ICU... I don't think that's the right way to go into the pits, but it works, I guess, sometimes. But Tim making some contact there with the Williams. Rev Rob gets ahead of Asteroid once again. Tim making the move on Chrisu there, down into turn 1. And Tim with those soft tyres, he could, with that fastest lap, potentially try and get back into the lead of the race. As it's not now, it's no longer a Williams sandwich as ICU is past Neb. Oh, as TECHUBI gets into turn 1 there, down the straight. Where did TECHUBI find that pace? He's already pulled out 3 tenths. And so is Matthew Manga. And Josh has lost DRS to TECHUBI. And I think that's proof right there. Tim and Jason Owie soaring past, and Tim getting the double dose. Getting up into P2. And just look at Tim. He is on an absolute charge. Already got within that 1 second gap of TECHUBI. And honestly, I think Tim could be on course to win this. He is rapid on those softs. ICU getting past Tharlo there as Tim gets past on TECHUBI. And now Tim can just pull ahead now. Yeah, so he's basically ensuring that he gets that, that podium spot. Rev Rob 2 tenths behind. Asteroid is a 10th. Josh gets in front of Jay Snowy. Asteroid goes down the inside of Rev Rob. Can he get the move stick? A little bit of contact. Through turn 2, and they're still going to remain wheel to wheel. Asteroid has the outside, and I think he just about gets in front. As, Rev Rob and Sausage there having a bit of contact. Sausage forced onto the grass. He's going to try and make a move on the Aston Martin. Not around the outside, but Sausage going for the move on Rev Rob down the inside. And gets the move done, though. As we look at the top of the front for the final time. Well, for the final time that we have a straight. And it is going to be TECHUBI soaring past. He saved that battery perfectly. Switches to none, though, as we see Cynthia exiting the pits. And Tim stays in front as we head on to the final lap. And I think Jason Owie gets in front of Josh. Chrisu is trying to get past as well, but he isn't able to get close enough. I want to see this battle for the top, though. I want to know if TECHUBI can get past him, as he's going to try to go down the inside, going into turn 6 and into turn 7. TECHUBI is just in front. Can he hold on to that? Yes, he does. And into turn 8 and 9 into sector 2. It's going to be TECHUBI now leading the race. Can he win for the first time since Singapore in this season? As we go into turn 10, and TECHUBI is still going to be firmly ahead, but Tim on, you know, with the battery on, with the DRS, can Tim get it? Otherwise, it's going to be a last lap dash to the line. Tim can't get it going into turn 11 and into turn 12. And now all Tim has to do is try and get the best exit he can out of the final corners. But TECHUBI is going to be trying to do that as well. Asteroid getting past Sausage Joe. We're right on board with Tim. Can he get the move on TECHUBI? He's going to pull to the inside. Is he going to get it before the line? Yes, he does. And Tim takes the win of the Division 1 Dutch Grand Prix. TECHUBI gave it his all, but he just misses out by about a tenth of a second. And will have to settle for P2. Jay Snowy finishes in P3 in the podium positions, and Josh did finish in 4th, but will drop down to P7 due to penalties. That promotes Chrisu and Sausage Joe up into P4 and P5. Some good points there for Aston Martin. Rev Rob in P6 there. Asteroid gave it his all, but finished in P8. Unfortunate for the Ferrari, who qualified P3. Wizzy Boy finishes in P9 after starting P16. Again, another unfortunate race for ICU. Qualified P4, but finds himself in P10. Tharlo finishes in P11, followed by Neb, Cintium, Matiamanga. And then the non-finishers was actually Matiamanga. You know, he just is apparently 4 laps behind. But Sleek and Oliver, Bran and Jordan, all the non-finishers. But that was a close race between those top two. My goodness. What an insane last lap battle that was. But Tim just nicks the win off TECHUBI on the line.